Welcome back, Uni Crew, to another episode with your host, Uni Gwen. And I am doing Ramen Talk with Uni. This is going to be, oh my gosh, there's my timer. Okay, Google, turn off. I hope it turns off because it has a hard time listening sometimes. But, anyways, I just put hot water into my gin ramen. So, like I said, this is going to be a Ramen Talk with Uni. And so, I'm going to be tasting a new ramen that I've never tried before, giving my thoughts and opinions on it, and also bringing you a story, more like of an experience, but it's basically my personal story of my BTS ticket fiasco with Ticketmaster. I will also be sharing my review on Idol I that I just finished watching, and definitely bringing you the review of how I like this ramen. To top it off with something to drink, I did end up buying these really cool Korean drink pouches, and I've bought these before, but this is like a different brand that I've never seen before. I saw them at my local grocery outlet and they were only 89 cents. So I did end up buying the peach iced tea with the watermelon and the mango flavor. Today I'm drinking the watermelon, so I'm definitely keeping it Korean style. But I'm glad you guys are all with me listening to my story, and let's get into it. To give you a little bit about what this gin ramen is supposed to be and what it's supposed to taste like, it's that blue, huge cup. It says gin and it's the mild version. I know there's a hot version and that's the red packaging, but your girl doesn't do well with spice. So that's why I never buy the spicy stuff. I am sorry. I am just a big wuss and it's just not for me. I did end up adding a boiled egg to add some flavor and also some spam. Spam just makes the world go round. I feel like anytime you put spam in something that you eat, it intensifies the flavor, and spam is just so delicious. It's a little steamy, so I am gonna mix it around and try to get all that flavor. I don't really add any chopped up vegetables like you're supposed to in the nice pretty picture that this ramen bowl has. You can get this at Food for Less because it is kind of hot and I don't want to jump into it just yet. But what it is, it's a savory and comforting beefy garlic broth. It has a gentle spice kick. It's supposed to be smooth and balanced. People add egg, green onions, cheese, slices, even some dumplings. Spam is a good choice, and also hot dogs or kimchi. So I did add two out of the ingredients that I just read. Okay, so if you guys know about BTS, you know that Jin also supports this brand, but this brand of ramen was actually always there before he became famous. I think they just kind of reached out to him, if I'm not mistaken, and asked if they want to collaborate with each other. Good job, Jin. You have a really famous name, and now I'm pretty sure everybody wants to buy this ramen. But also keep in mind that Jin is a really good cook. If you know anything about his background, his parents also have a restaurant in South Korea. So he was always filmed making food for the group when they were living all together back in the day. Just putting that out there. I also wanted to let you know that I am not eating this with chopsticks, even though that would be a great accomplishment on my own. It's really hard for me to eat like any type of ramen with chopsticks. I'm getting the hang of it with sushi and some noodles, but I need some more practice in that department. So I did bring a little fun fact for you all about chopsticks because I thought we were talking about food, so why not talk about chopsticks? The fun fact is that the culture of using chopsticks exists not only in Korea, but across Asia, including Japan, China, and Vietnam. Korea is the only country in the world that routinely uses metal chopsticks in daily life. In size, they're shorter than Chinese chopsticks but longer than Japanese ones and have flat rectangular tips. Because they're metal, that does make them slippery and they are heavier. And metal chopsticks go back to the ancient times and were unearthed from the tombs of Baekje, which is royalty going back to the Three Kingdoms period, which would be 18 BC to 660 AD. I think that's pretty interesting. I hope that you all like that piece of info. Okay, so let's get into this gin soup because it does look like it's not steaming anymore. I did mix everything in case you want to know what the heck I'm eating. I will definitely put a picture over on Instagram. It's my G's K-Love Lounge. It will be in my link tree that's going to be posted in the episode description for you all. So let me go ahead and take a bite and a little bit of spam. Hold on just a sec. Mm. Okay, it's not super spicy. I did add the whole packet of spice. It's got a good flavor to it. I'm being a fan of this spam in here with the noodles. It's tasting delish. Let me get a little piece of egg. Okay. This is delicious. Mm. Yeah, I don't see myself eating this without the enhancements, my friends. Um, this just tastes so good. I'm taking my third bite. It's definitely got that beef bone broth. I can taste it. And it doesn't taste cheapy, kind of like the little ramen ones that you get from Walmart or whatever. They're like 10 cents, 10 for a dollar. Well, maybe they're not even 10 for a dollar because inflation has gone up since I used to buy those all the time. But I like how these ramens come with a little bit more than just the soup packet and the noodles. This is good with the flavoring. It's got a bunch of spices in here. This is very filling. I've only taken 3 bites and I can tell this would be perfect for a lunch. You just take your spam, take your egg, and then you've got your full meal here. I love the taste of the spices. I'm so happy this is not burning my tongue off. This is fairly easy to put together. Let me get another bite. I think it has a little bit of there's some dried beef in here. I'm definitely going to give that a 10 out of a 10. I would see myself repurchasing this again. And I think it literally is everything it said on the description. So now it's probably the moment that you all have been waiting for. Let's go into my BTS Ticketmaster fiasco. Now, I bought my tickets from Ticketmaster, which I probably shouldn't have done, but did I know any better? No, because this has never happened to me before. I have never, ever had my tickets canceled. And this was a first for me, even though I did see like on Reddit that this has happened to other people. And that's why they refused to buy from Ticketmaster, which I agree. I don't think I'm ever going to buy from Ticketmaster ever again after this experience because this was definitely a Debbie Downer. I mean, I was so excited. I bought 2 tickets and I bought one for me and my daughter. And we had never seen BTS ever. So, like, this was like the first group that I ever listened to. And I scored tickets, and they were only about $561 for the 2 of them after taxes. And in the beginning, they announced that they were going to go on tour. I already knew that I didn't want to be at like the SoFi Stadium because that is just way too huge and I'm not going to spend like thousands of dollars to get super close to them. I just wanted to get a good seat. So when I saw that they were actually going to perform in Stanford University, I was like, wow. They only have 2 levels. And so pretty much any seat that you're going to get is going to be a good view. And I actually scored some really good tickets. We weren't far away and time went by. I booked my hotel and oh my gosh, that day though that I was booking my hotel, they were definitely price gouging. I saw one for over $1,000 and it was just a regular hotel. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't no Ritz-Carlton or anything like that. And it was just very disappointing to see that people still do this. Like, dude, we already spent a lot of money on the tickets and now you're going to price gouge us for a place to sleep. For people like us that actually don't live around those areas, it's not easy for us to like save money on that plus the tickets, plus you're spending money, plus your food. It's a lot of money when we go to concerts. And I know that there's a certain date that if you don't cancel your hotel in time, then they keep your deposit. I was always thinking about that in the back of my head. But Ticketmaster had sent out an email, I think about a month before, and I had kind of posted something about this on my Threads account. And I started talking about how I got this email and it said your BTS tickets got canceled, blah, blah, blah. And I was so pissed. And of course, I went into my account because I had already paid full price for them. I'd already done the whole Klarna setup and everything because I bought another pair of tickets to Phantom of the Opera, which I will be going to in July. And I didn't see the BTS ones right next to the Phantom of the Opera tickets. So I was like, oh my gosh, they're not there. And I'm freaking out because this is becoming a reality now, not just an email that I saw. And I guess in the email, it did say there were 2 days to request tickets, but I didn't want to wait after this. I was really sad. It put me into a very sad place. I mean, having to tell my daughter too that we weren't going to go see BTS. I mean, yeah, did I try for the 2 days to request a ticket? Sure. But I never got any response until closer to the date of like when they were going to perform, which was like May 19th. And I'm not somebody who banks on that kind of stuff. I'm more of like, I work hard for my money. And if I'm not going to get my tickets and I don't see them there, I'm not going to be waiting a long time for a miracle. It was so intensely hard to get my money back from Ticketmaster. And by the way, I'm happy for all of you that got to go. All of your videos looked great. I saw everybody's fan gifts that they were giving out, like the BTS freebies. They were so cool. That's what I was most excited to see was all of the cute little key rings and charms and bracelets that everybody was making. So creative. And I just saw so many ideas that I would have never thought of to do. I did see like video reels of them performing. My bestie got to go in Orlando, so that was really cool. I'm glad she went to the BTS concert and enjoyed that. Friends, I know I'm like trailing off, but just wanted to let you know that a lot of the commentary was going on Threads about the BTS album sounding the same. I don't know if you've heard that too, but the songs I guess sounded similar to like the next song. I know what you're saying. When I listened to the album, I kind of understood what that was sounding like because not every album is going to sound the same and it's not going to have the same style. They're always going to try to be different and grow and go into these waters that they've never been into before and test out different sounds. Now, the repeating, I think, was because in a lot of the songs from their Erarang album, like the chorus is repeated. And so I can hear that a lot. But the songs do sound different. There's slow ones, there's fast ones. I do love Swim. That's a great song. Out of the album, I would say that I replay at least 6 of them over and over. Are we all gonna like think the same? No, because we're all different. And all that I want for the fans, out there to do is to just appreciate and respect music as a person, music as a whole, because we're rooting for them for the same thing. We want them to succeed. We want them to still keep making music. We don't want them to break up, because K-pop groups break up all the time and they don't get back together. And if they do, it's like for like a one-time thing. Got to root for our boys here. I really don't like to see comments of hate or bullying. That doesn't make you any better than the next person. And it's okay to have a different opinion. That's just us being human. Yeah, but getting back into my story, what I ended up doing was I actually had to go through my Chase account to request the money back through them. Somebody on Threads did tell me that what people do is they buy the tickets and then they try to sell them for more to somebody else. Like it's kind of like a bid war, I guess. They know they can do that, but they need to really put a stop to that because this is 2026. This should not be happening anymore. I had to go through Chase and try to request my money back because they were giving me the runaround. One time I called, somehow I got connected to a scammer. So be real careful with that, friends. That was an eye opener. I canceled my debit card and my credit card and got 2 brand new ones, and it was just a mess. I was just so sick and tired of waiting for my money. They kept saying that they needed my email. They kept saying they needed proof, and I was done. And so I called Chase and I said, "Hey, I bought these tickets. I don't have them anymore. I have the email that says it got canceled. I want my refund." And so when this happens, they're supposed to be able to give you your refund back. They did reach out to Klarna and Ticketmaster and they got it situated. I got my money back. I don't owe anything to Klarna anymore. that said that I owed a balance, but they told me to ignore that. After 16 days, it was gonna clear off. And I ended up using that money for good. I canceled my hotel within the time frame, so I didn't get penalized for that. I always go through booking because they always let you cancel before a certain time. That day that I canceled my tickets and I got the partial refund back, I ended up putting that towards KCON for this year. So it's not like I'm going to miss out on a concert. I actually am going to go sometime in August, and I'm going to head up there on Saturday so I can be there early the day before and get into the convention. Now, if you don't know what KCON is freaking fun. It is a big ol' like K-pop concert 3 days in a row, like a festival in a way. Let me take a sip of my watermelon drink because I have been talking a lot. I've been taking some bites here and there of my ramen. Give me one sec. Okay, friends, it's good, but I'm gonna warn you, it is very, very sweet. So if you don't want to taste all that sweetness, I recommend putting a lot of ice in your drink. Let's move on to my review on Idol I. I just finished this the other day. It took me forever to finish this because I've been so busy with work. When I come home, I'm super tired and I have to start cooking for my family. I haven't really had a lot of time to just binge watch, and I just can't afford to because I start getting really tired around 2:33, and I just need to start drinking like energy water to stay awake for the long haul of getting out at 5. Now that I finished this K-drama, I'm not really sure which way I want to dip into. I'm kind of leaning on buying the Rakuten Viki subscription or Cocoa subscription, and I'm not sure because a lot of the ones on Netflix, I know all of my friends are watching those that are coming out, but I kind of want to dip into a different streaming service. So I'll let you guys know what I end up doing and what I end up watching in the next episode. But also, let's get into the review. Okay, guys, so for Idol I rated this an 8.5 out of a 10. What Idol I is basically about is about this K-pop idol who's in a group and he has a dark side to his life. There's a lot of problems. He's got a lot of stress, and right now he's not even getting along with his band members. And so he has a really strong bond with one of them because they've been together in this group since they were like teenagers. Long story short, the main singer gets into this argument with the drummer who's in the group, and they have a scuffle. And so they're supposed to actually perform together before he goes on his solo set. And that never happens because they end up fighting each other. He punches the drummer, and then one of the other members, the guitarist, he tries to separate them. He falls on his arm, broke his arm, had to take him to the hospital. And so they never performed. And so there was this big old commotion about that. And so, of course, that night, his good buddy comes over to his apartment and they sit down, chat, drink some soju. I think he's also taking some medication as well, like the main singer is. And so he knocks out and his friend is still awake. When he wakes up in the morning, he sees his friend on the floor dead. Somebody came over and he got murdered. Now he, the main singer, of course, gets framed for the murder of his friend. And so the lawyer who defends him happens to be one of his biggest fans. I'm pretty sure like the biggest fan. She was there for him since day one and they have a connection since like way back when. So she has to try really hard to figure out who it is. She has to defend him and bring the other person to justice. And I thought it was a very good storyline. I mean, it had me going. It just had me hooked because I kept trying to figure out who the killer was. And there were so many angles of who I thought it could be. And the actors played their characters so stinking well. And so, like, when I thought I knew who it was, I was like, wait, it's probably not this person. And of course, I was wrong. So it's one of those K-dramas that you really got to pay attention to. There's little details that you're just kind of like, well, it can't be this person. Or do you really believe this person? I don't think that this person's being very trustworthy. I thought the storyline between the lawyer and the idol was cute. Both really went through some dark times and they both tried to get through life or at least navigate it the best way they knew how. The reason I gave it an 8.5 and not a higher number was because of the ending. Okay. The ending for me was not a believable one. If you're going to watch this and you haven't watched it, like you can pause this and just skip ahead. But I am going to go ahead and give you the reason why I didn't like it. So it's going to kind of be a spoiler. But they ended it with the fans kind of coming together to protect his private life and who he chose to be with. Like the fans knew of them being together. Now, if anyone knows anything about Korean fans in the K-pop world, they know that these fans will like push the bar and even say negative comments when they don't agree on an idol's personal life because they're very protective of their idols. To me, it kind of feels like a sense of control, but Korean fans think that they are supporting their bias when this is happening. And guys, this happens all the time. Now, had the director made the ending into a secretive relationship, I probably would have believed that more, to be honest. But that's not how the story ended. So, for that reason, an 8.5 out of a 10. Something similar that kind of happened that kind of relates to like this ending was when Jungkook and Winter from aespa, she was getting a lot of hate because they had matching tattoos at one point, and it was this big old issue, and they were trying to figure out if there was something between the two. And, Jungkook came to defend her, because the two labels were not speaking out during that time. They didn't like publicly say anything or make an announcement until BTS's label did. Big Hit finally said something. I guess they weren't together, but I mean, I think at even one point they were wearing matching jewelry. It happened a while back ago, and once it happens, I don't try to like hang on to that kind of stuff. I just kind of move forward. If you want to look it up, I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere. They didn't even cheer for her during like one of the concerts. Like they didn't cheer for her when she was being like introduced in front of tons of like aespa fans. And so when it was her turn to introduce herself, when she was up there on stage, the fans did not cheer. It was real quiet. I really felt bad for her because here she is getting hated on. I really hope you enjoyed Ramen Talk with Uni. I think I'm going to do this again with a different type of ramen in the future, a different type of drink, maybe even coffee. Well, coffee and ramen don't really mix, Gwen. No, no, no. It's got to be a different type of drink. Maybe some soju. And if you liked my podcast, if you like these episodes, if you like listening to me, please hit that follow button up there in the corners. It's a little heart symbol. And also leave me a comment. I love hearing from my Uni crew. I thank you for all of your support. We have officially reached over 2,000 plays on this podcast. Thank you, Uni crew. This goes out to you guys. And I will see you in the next one. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Bye now.